Hey, I'm Harry Mays, and Kevin Petullo's offense better bust out this week against this defensive backfield because I know the Rams are going to move the football.
I'm Jason Martinez, and you can't get to 3-0 without already being 2-0.
And I'm Mark Farzetta, and I just hope the Eagles keep on pushing it real good. All that and more on this edition of Locked On Eagles Squad Show.
Fly, Eagles, fly. It's the Eagles Squad. Everything Philadelphia Eagles every week. Covering all the big hits and game-changing plays from the city of brotherly love. The way only the Locked On Podcast Network can. Get ready and squad up. It's the Eagles Squad Show starting now.
What the heck was that?
What?
That
What happened?
knowledge drop. You can't get to 3-0 without being 2-0. Is the ice up there rotting your brain? Like, what was that?
What was wrong about what I said?
Well, nothing's
It's
wrong
true.
about it. Very insightful. Jesus.
On a clear day, the sky is blue.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
Jason Martinez.
When the sun is out, it's warmer.
The ice in the barn is cold.
Are we done?
Are we done here?
Let's get it back to the Eagles.
Are we all done here? Is it all? Are we all complete with the
Tell you, catching shrapnel right out of the gate.
Just catching, not even strays, just right at you.
No, that was
Exactly.
sniper fire. I feel like I stepped on a landmine.
There you go. There you go. Hey, by the way, don't forget, crossover Thursday presented by PrizePicks on the Locked On NFL shows across the board here. Download the PrizePicks app today and use promo code Locked On NFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Gentlemen, I got to say, everyone's happy the Eagles are 2-0, so let's just get that out of the way. La-di-da, puppy dogs and ice cream, 2-0, blah, 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 blah. Have they played to their standard yet, though? Let me ask this question to start things off here. Have the Eagles played to the standard? Because I am told time and time again that this franchise quarterback, whom I love, Harry and Jason, it's not about necessarily the wins and the losses. It's about playing to the standard. And so far this season, gentlemen, I have not seen the Philadelphia Eagles play to a standard where they should already be familiar with playing with one another, despite a new offensive coordinator and play caller. So, Jason, have they played to their standard just yet?
They've played to a below standard just yet. They are 28th in the NHL or NHL. Oh,
Whoa.
I love that. In the NFL.
Oh, there it is. You see? I was right.
You are.
You put that Flyers logo behind his dome, and all of a sudden, stuff just doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Let me just jump in real quick.
For the people on the podcast not watching on YouTube, Jason is at the practice facility for the Philadelphia Flyers with the big old orange and black logo behind him. That's why the puns.
This is not a new set design at my house.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Okay.
Jason, go ahead.
Well, they're 28th in the NFL right now in total yards. So,
okay. Copy that.
I mean, offensively, they haven't been good. They haven't been nearly good enough, but they're 2-0. That's a testament to the defense, number one, the efficiency of the offense, and it's never been about, this huge offensive yards numbers or anything like that. Ultimately, the biggest thing that matters in the NFL is point differential. Well, wins and losses, but point differential. And the Eagles, I think they've played two pretty decent teams. I'm not sure what they'll be in a month or 2 months from now when I'm talking about the Dallas Cowboys who had to squeak by the Giants in a late field goal, and Kansas City, you feel like they have to get it together, and they have the Giants this weekend. I suppose they don't have to, but you're 2-0. And yeah, are things clicking on all cylinders for a new offensive coordinator? Absolutely not. Are things clicking on all cylinders defensively? Probably not, but pretty darn close.
Well, I don't know how good the Dallas Cowboys are, but I know that they played the Kansas City Chiefs at the right time. It's not only just who you play, but a lot of time, what do we say? It's when you play them. They got the Kansas City Chiefs early in the season, down a couple of bigger play guys, and they're scuffling right now. So that was a really good win. I don't know if I'd want to play the Chiefs in another 2 months, especially if this Eagles offense doesn't find its standard. Because if this is the standard, this ain't good enough.
Here's what bothered me. Now look, obviously the play bothered me. Now with access to all 22, and I go back and I watch the all 22, but in game, you see Jalen Hurts hold on to the football way too long throughout the game. Now, that either is two things. One, he's indecisive, or two, guys are covered. And I will say in game, whenever it was 3, 4, 5 times they showed sky cam or, the high end zone, whatever it was, it looked like Steve Spagnuolo's secondary was blanketing guys. But in the beginning of the game, when as an offensive coordinator, you're supposed to have your fingerprints on what the team does the most, Jalen Hurts fumbled the football, and Jalen Hurts missed 2 throws. Now, I know rolling to your left as a right-handed quarterback and then popping back to throw it up.
It's not ideal.
Yeah. It's not ideal. So why that's a play call to begin with, I don't get. But I think Jalen Hurts is a good enough quarterback, and I think Jalen Hurts is a good enough athlete to be able to make that throw. He threw behind A.J. Brown on that. He threw over Grant Calcaterra on a ball that on a route that he's just staring right down the barrel at him, so to speak, and he overthrew him. He sailed it. Then there was few and far between opportunities as the game went on. So I'm not excluding Jalen Hurts at all from blame. He didn't play well, especially in the start of the game. He made the one big play to Devontae Smith with the blitz in his face, 28 yards. But that was the only 20-plus play in the entire game.
It was the only play above 6 yards down the field, I believe.
Yeah, I think the next one was like a running play. It was like 8 yards or something. No,
I'm talking pass play. I'm talking pass play. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it was
anemic.
Pathetic.
Yeah.
It was pathetic. So this makes me believe it's more than any this makes me believe that Kevin Patullo's fingerprints on all of this, it's the only constant through the 4 quarters. Because everything else I thought Jalen Hurts was doing was fine. It was just a matter of defense. But in the start of the game, he had no rhythm, he had no sync, you couldn't build off anything. And if you're going to rip Kevin Patullo for being vanilla in the first half, I really think it had more to do with Jalen Hurts not producing in the first half, really the first quarter in particular. But everything else, it looked like guys were blanketed.
I don't know, but I don't know if I totally agree with that. I agree with it to an extent. Here's the fact. 32nd in the league passing yards for Jalen Hurts. 34 quarterbacks have played so far this season. But he is second in completion percentage in the NFL.
Yeah, but that's dink and dunk.
But and that's right. That's why I think this is more of a Kevin Patullo issue. Because, guys, when we came into the season, we had a litany of question marks about the defense and where Cooper DeJean was going to play, what we were going to get out of, guys in new positions due to attrition, whether it was Slay or Gardner John, whatever. We come in offensively, and really there's not much change. Steen goes in at right guard. And other than that, it's pretty much the same deal. Goddard's back, although hurt, pretty predictable. But you still have Saquon, you still have that offensive line, you still have A.J. Brown, you still have Devontae Smith, you have Dotson who made a big play in week 1, but the execution has not been there. We didn't worry about the offense, but that's been the more kind of disturbing thing. And if you look at it, you go, well, the personnel's all there that executed pretty well last year. Why is it not executing this year? You got to look at play, call, and scheme, and that's Kevin Patullo. And
but if you're talking about execution,
yeah.
If you're talking about execution, then you're talking about Jalen Hurts. And by the way, for the record, again, I'm talking about Jalen Hurts in the first quarter. I think the rest of the game is game plan and scheme. Everything else, I mean, I don't do this often, but hey, Steve Spagnuolo, credit to you, man. That was, again, going back, watching the all 22, it was Jalen Hurts gets to the top of his route, guys are covered. Simple as that. Guys are covered.
They also haven't gotten the running game really chugging yet either.
Mm-hmm.
88 yards last week for Saquon in the 70s in week 1, and the Chiefs did a great job against them in the Super Bowl as well, and that didn't hurts, pardon the pun, but that's going to be a big part of it as well. If he has a bust-out week with the running game, then you'll see.
Well, that's also the thing, though, too, because obviously we talked at length about how Kansas City bottled up Saquon in the Super Bowl, and Jalen was just so good that it didn't matter. Well, last week, Saquon didn't really bust out. I mean, 88 yards or 80-plus yards is nothing to scoff at, but when you start looking in the terms of how he plays, it was a kind of a ho-hum game. So you had no passing attack, and your big running back didn't do anything, grandiose or special. So they had nothing going on. So that has to fall on the coordinator to me.
Yeah.
There's I don't see any play design that's really like, wow, look at that formation, or look how they schemed to get Devontae Smith, free on that play. No, there's nothing. I haven't seen anything yet. Now, okay, it's 2 weeks in, and you get none of this in preseason. So I'm not throwing him overboard yet, believe me. But I had better start seeing it this week because this Rams team's secondary stinks. Okay, their offense is really good, but their secondary stinks. So if you can't get it going this week, then I'm really going to start to worry.
It seems like Patullo suffers from a lack of creativity. A lot
That's
of times.
what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, you don't even see like a simple play action to try and go over the top. You know, that's as simple as it gets. If Saquon has 2 good runs and then you play action on first down, I mean, that's the spot to do it, and particular places on the field, which they had the opportunity to do in that game, and they just didn't.
All right, let me ask you this. I'll put it in your parlance today. If Kevin Patullo was on the power play, what would it look like? Okay.
The Flyers power play the last 3 years, Harry.
That's fair.
The best power
Slam
play
dunk.
I've seen in 3 years was in the rookie game the other night, and they didn't even score.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I believe the biscuit has been put in the basket. That was
it has.
phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Tape to tape. That was phenomenal.
Bar down.
That was a clapper, huh?
I had a hockey stick
bombed
in
the
this
clapper.
office. I can't
I'm
find
sure
it.
I could find one somewhere around here. Looks like the boys are clearing the ice right now from Group B.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
torching him
That's
right
Group
now.
A. Zegers was out there. TK, all the boys.
Let me to get on this. The Patullo and the creativity.
Yeah.
Here's what really stuck out to me in this game. And Andy Reid's great in Kansas City and all that, blah, blah, blah. But we saw a master class in defensive adjustments from game to game. You're now, 5 straight years playing the Kansas City Chiefs? You play the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl, you blow them out. I did a radio hit. I did a radio hit in Kansas City, and they asked me what the Eagles need to do to win this game. And I said they need to improve upon their passing game from week 1 to week 2. And they're like, whoa, what about Saquon? And I'm like, they were like, you're the only person we've talked to that said the passing game needs to do something. And I said, do people think Steve Spagnuolo's dumb? Like, the Eagles haven't changed since the Super Bowl. It's still going to be a run-first team. If they can control the run like they did in the Super Bowl, which for the record they didn't. Saquon Barkley averaged 4 yards a carry in this game, 2.3 in the Super Bowl, so he was a whole almost 2 yards better. So if they can pass in this game, then Steve Spagnuolo has failed as a defensive coordinator. If he's able to take Saquon out, then then it'll just be like the Super Bowl. But he needs to step up the game in terms of making sure he can get to Jalen Hurts more so than he did in the Super Bowl. He did that in this game. That's what was the difference. That Steve Spagnuolo was making sure Jalen Hurts was under pressure each and every time. Now, on the same side of the football, defensive side, but in Eagles jerseys, Vic Fangio said, well, I can't obviously do the same thing. Just like Steve Spagnuolo said, I can't do the same thing I did in the Super Bowl. I got to do something different. I got to blitz. Vic Fangio, he changed things up as well. I can't do the same thing now. As he said this week, it's not the same personnel. I got to blitz. So you see him 4 or 5 times in the first half get after Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Second half, he only went after him once or twice at the most, but still the game plan coming into the game was a lot different. Offensively speaking, what did the Eagles change? They changed nothing. There was no hot routes. There weren't a plethora of slants. There was a few to A.J. Brown. Didn't see a lot of that in the second half, unfortunately. Devontae Smith, again, hardly a factor. Did come up with the big play. Not a lot of the throw into Saquon out of the backfield as much as you'd like to see, or even throw into A.J. Dillon even in this game. Like, it was a lot of the same stuff, unfortunately, but disrupted, game plan-wise disrupted, because of what Steve Spagnuolo was doing to this passing attack.
It's like he can't access his hard drive. You have that external hard drive, and he still has the hard drive in the computer for his play selection of the preseason vanilla stuff. There's 2 players on this Eagles team that every week I want to see multiple attempts to get these 2 players into open space and make something happen. Saquon and Devontae Smith. That's it. Plain as I want to see those 2 players, and I want to see at least a couple attempts for A.J. Brown to have to go up and battle for a ball, because if he doesn't come down with it, there's a good chance it's pass interference.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah, I'm no Mensa when it comes to football here, Harry.
It's almost impossible at this point to run a play to a player like A.J. Brown in the NFL and not get a pass interference. Like
a reception,
it
or
is so easy to get that call these days in the NFL, especially when you're a player with the physical gifts of an A.J. Brown. And I just don't understand, like, why aren't they just trying it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At worst, you're going to get a 25-yard penalty play.
Yeah. It's like they're holding stuff back for at some point in this season. I'd say it's frustrating, but they're 2-0.
I know, they're 2-0. You can't argue with that.
Okay, here's what I'll argue with, though. Didn't we have a full season 2 years ago of watching this team be like, well, we found a way to win. We're just lucky we found a way to win. If it's only we found a way to win. And to your point earlier, Jason, they were terrible in point differential that year. And people were like, oh, that's not everything. Well, yeah, it's not everything, but it kind of matters to know that you're controlling games from start to finish. That's what point differential is for me. Last year, they were one of the best teams in the NFL in point differential. Now, were they stacking wins? Sure. But they were also winning games by more than 10 points, 6 different occasions, which, by the way, last year, that's exactly what they did 2 years prior when they went to the Super Bowl also that year.
Yeah.
They were controlling games from start to finish, 6 games with 10 or more, by winning by 10 or more points. That matters because it shows that you did your homework to be ready for the game, and you made the right adjustment in game to make sure that you're going to come out on top. So I'll ask this question because this is another thing that bothered me.
It shows superiority is what it shows to me.
Exactly. You can impose your will, all that.
Yeah.
But here's something else that bothered me. And this was from Jalen Hurts yesterday when he was addressing the media. He's asked about the struggles and getting on the same page. And he says all the right things. We're confident. We'll get on the same page. I take responsibility, blah, blah, blah. But he talked about a template. Did you guys hear this?
No.
A template. So he says, we got obviously some new leadership, and he's referring to Kevin Patullo, I would, I think, pretty easily assume. And, we're working things out. I'm committed to making it better. We're all committed to making it better. We're all going to make it better. It's going to be better, and we're going to be better. Everything's better. And then at the end of it, the tail end of it, during like about a 2.5-minute answer to the first question of the press conference, he's like, there's kind of a template now, so you got to be ready to overcome what that template is. And I don't know who it was, but God bless him for asking the question. They were like, excuse me, hold on, wait. I think I know what you mean by template, but could you go into that a little bit more? Because I, too, was curious.
Like a defensive template against them?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Like they know what they're going to do. Yeah, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith,
a baseline.
Yeah, there's a mold there. Okay. And the defense goes, all right, we see the mold. We know how to keep them in that mold without letting them break the mold. I don't want to hear about that. I understand that there's scouting reports out of you now. You had Saquon Barkley all of last year. Everyone knows that it's a run-first team and all that. So people are going to – so I'm sorry. Are you the only quarterback in the NFL to get blitzed? Are you the only quarterback in the NFL to for teams to want to take away the run game? Are you like there's
forced to his right side?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm sorry, and not throw over the middle and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I heard Jalen Hurts at the beginning of the year, literally a mini camp, talk about how other teams are going to have to pick their poison. Nothing seems that poisonous right now in this offense. So I'll take the startup costs in the first 2 weeks of the season. I'll say, all right, fine, working things out, learning how your guy's going to call plays, and he's never done that before, so now he's doing it, and everyone's got to get on the same page. Like, I get that to a point, but when you have weapons like this and an offensive line like this, who, by the way, hasn't been playing all that great, but still pretty damn good.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't want to hear too much about, oh, well, they know how to play us, so there's a template out there that people can stop us. I'm like, I don't want to hear that.
They cracked the code. The NFL and sports is all about adjusting.
The adjustment.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, even last year when they went on the run, all of a sudden when they lost, they go, somebody provided the blueprint on how to slow them down. And then you come back and you figure out how to exploit it because the next team's going to try and do that. And you go, well, let's make them their own worst enemy. If they're going to blitz, then let's have quick hitters where they don't have time to get to the quarterback, a 3-step drop and get it out so we can play them against themselves. So they have to cool it down on the blitzing or whatever they're trying to do. It is like Harry, you nailed it. It's the adjustment to the adjustment. And that goes on all season.
That's what football is, to me. But their first crap game isn't until week 6. Like, if you want to see them blow out a team, I think we have to wait until they play the Giants in week 6, to be honest with you.
And that's always a division game. It can always be tight.
Yeah, well, true. It can be, but they stink.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like this schedule in the beginning of the year. I mean, it's a tough schedule, and Kansas City wasn't what we typically think of Kansas City. But this Rams team is, their defensive secondary is not good, but their offense is good. I mean, I can't wait to see what Vic Fangio tries to do with this Puka Nacua character because That guy.
Wait, did you allowed to say that, Harry? Puka Nacua?
Yeah, I think
it's on the SEC
it's
ban
a curse
list?
word in some countries, I think.
Okay, just making sure.
South Philly, it'll be a curse word if this guy gets loose. And he's got 20 targets, 18 receptions, over 200 yards receiving in the first 2 games. I mean, he is used often.
Yeah, and out of the backfield. He lined up as a fullback against the Titans.
Right, you're going up against one of the more creative. You talk about creative play callers. The guy coming in this weekend is creative. Okay, yeah. I know he gets a little too much credit, I think, somewhere by people that cover the league, but he's good.
Yeah, he is a football Mensa.
Yeah.
I'll put it to you like this. I'll put it to you like this. You know all that stuff about whatever it takes to win? Mm-hmm. Remember that? Remember all that fun stuff for the first 2 weeks of the season now? So this could very well be a week where whatever it takes to win, like what it takes to win, could be a 300-yard passing game for Jalen Hurts. Not that I want to put that number out there, but you know what I mean. Like you're going to have to air this ball out.
250 plus.
The 250 plus
250
type game.
Plus.
Like here's what watching the film on this game against the Chiefs reminded me of. It reminded me of the Carolina Panthers game last year, where it's just like either nothing was there. Now, that game was more of the Eagles shooting themselves in the foot by not being on the same page. But then I hear Jalen Hurts talk about it after the game is when he used it. And then he reiterated it yesterday when he used the word in sync. We're not in sync as a passing offense. Because if you remember, other than A.J. Brown's big headline of the passing game needs work, remember that? Mm-hmm. How could you forget? Jalen Hurts' words of sync, we were out of sync as a passing offense. That's what it looked like to me in this game against the Chiefs. But more of this was the Chiefs imposing their will in the passing game on the Eagles by going after the quarterback. So what happens if Jared Verse is winning some battles there on the defensive line? What happens if they get pressure? What happens if they're dialing up blitzes to keep Jalen Hurts off his game? Not the same defense, not the same defense coordinator, obviously. But still, what if your passing offense doesn't get on point? Then it's going to be a barn burner in favor of the Rams. That's my concern, because what it takes to win this week could mean Jalen Hurts having a monster game throwing the football.
I totally agree with you. But that Carolina game, if you remember, luckily that Xavier Legette guy turned into CD Lamb and dropped that ball at the 1 yard line, or they would have won that game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Remember that at the very end?
Yep.
You were like, how in the world are they in this game? Here comes a bomb, and they could have won it.
Yeah. Jalen Hurts only threw for 108 yards, 14 to 21 in that game, 2 touchdowns, no picks. But Saquon was very efficient, 20 rushes, buck 24.
Yeah.
I want to say, did Hurts have a touchdown on the ground as well?
He did. Yep. He had 8 rushes, 59 yards, 7.4 average, and a touchdown running it. So he accounted for 3 touchdowns in the game. Three touchdowns.
Yeah. The saving grace from that one is I remember after the fact, it was like maybe the Wednesday following the game. I remember thinking, man, Jalen Hurts just had the worst game ever. Let me look at the numbers again. And then I was like, wait, in his worst game, he had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I was like, 110.8 rating.
Yeah. Right, exactly. And I'm like, okay, maybe it wasn't that bad. And then I'm like, no, that's where the eye test comes in. The hell, as I always say, gentlemen.
He was sacked 4 times, though, in that game.
Okay. Numbers never lie. Numbers never lie, but they sure as hell can deceive.
Well, his rating is, 85 so far this year, I think, and Stafford's is 107. Yeah.
Not great.
And the Rams have 11 pass plays of 20-plus yards this year.
Eagles have 2?
Eagles have 2, I believe. Rams have 1 of 40-plus, and I think the Eagles have 1 of 40-plus. 1, maybe.
Yes. Well, the 51 to Dotson. Your boy Dotson.
Yeah, Stafford's 107.1, Harry. Mm-hmm. Hertz is 24th in the NFL at 88.5.
Oh, 88.5. I screwed him out of 3 points. Sorry.
Gentlemen, I heard something fantastic after the game, after the Kansas City Chiefs. And I haven't heard anybody bring
our
this
show.
Up. It was. I'm sorry. I heard 2 things that were fantastic. One of them came from the Eagles locker room, and it's from Drew Mukuba. I haven't heard anybody other than myself talk about this. Maybe you guys talked about it. I don't know, but it is like, damn, son, announce your presence with authority. When we come back, we'll tell you what that is. I know Jason's got a message for you. We'll be back right after this. Is the Locked On Eagles Squad show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel.
All righty. Let me tell you about something I love. It's called 5-Hour Energy. Got one right here. I have one at all times. Caffeine just got a flavor upgrade. 5-Hour Energy shots deliver tasty caffeine And how about this now? 17 bold flavors. Each 2-ounce shot packs the caffeine of a premium 12-ounce cup of coffee, plus B vitamins and nutrients with 0 sugar and 0 crashes. Now, what I love the most is how portable it is. It's tiny. It's like in the palm of my hand. Store them in the bag, easy. Big taste, tiny shot, and you can take it anywhere and get the boost when you need it. My favorite one has kind of changed over time. Love the blue raspberry, was on a run with that. Grape, always good. Cherry, but they've got so many other flavors. More to come. Strawberry banana is a new one. Strawberry watermelon, regular watermelon's good. Sometimes I have a hankering for a little sour apple. How about that? Tropical burst. They've got the all kinds of different ones. Tidal, twist, apple bash, you name it, a flavor pretty much for every occasion. So check them all out, and they are great. And I love how fast it kicks in. When I get up, I am a pain in the butt in the morning, and I need a shot of energy right away to get me going and get me moving. And that's what I do, a nice 5-hour energy, extra strength, sugar-free, so I don't have to worry about crashing later. Enough with boring, flavorless caffeine. It's time to give your caffeine a flavor upgrade with 5-hour energy shots. Get the favorites you love, or be bold and try something new in store and also online. You can build your own 12-pack, 24-pack, you name it, or go to 5hourenergy.com. You can also order them on Amazon today.
So, gentlemen, I absolutely love the play. I think we all did. Drew Mukuba made. I mean, think about this for a second. Drew Mukuba gets to tell the grandkids, I picked off my first NFL interception from Patrick Mahomes off the hands of Taylor Swift's boyfriend, now fiance, Travis Swift. Like, that's the story you get to tell. And then you just pray that your grandkids don't go, well, then what happened? Did you score a touchdown, Grampy? And it's like, no, an offensive line caught me, but shut up. Anyway, after the game, Drew Mukuba's getting interviewed. And it's right at the end of the media scrum with him. And he says, basically, I'm getting really comfortable now. And if I get really, really comfortable, it's going to be dangerous. And first off, I know people, they don't like arrogance or whatever. To hell with that. If you're an NFL player, I want you to be as arrogant as humanly possible. Like, I want you to be self-aware, obviously. But I also want you to have that confidence that you're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the NFL. For him to come up with that incredible play, for him to come up with that and then set up what would be the offensive play in the game, the 28-yard pass to Devontae Smith on the 0 blitz, that was a kid stepping up and announcing his presence with authority. And then after the game being like, guess what? I'm not even comfortable yet.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
When I'm comfortable, it's going to be dead. Exactly.
Yeah.
Harry, I got chills, Harry. I got chills.
It was sort of like, in a similar vein, hearing Vic Fangio last year say that Jalen Carter still hasn't really figured it out yet. I forget what the exact quote was, but it was in that, that kind of gist.
That vein,
it's really encouraging, especially when the guy missed so much time during the preseason with 2 injuries. If this guy can stay on the field, he's gonna do exactly what he did in college, and that's find the ball and make big plays. So we talked about it after he was drafted. What kind of a player we think we got here, and through the first 2 weeks, he's showing us that that's who he is.
Yeah, Jason, he had the blitz. The Vic Fangio had confidence in him to send him on the blitz. Made a great play there. He had
nobody
one play
saw
where
him. Mahomes never saw him until it was too late.
So I saw a breakdown of that. I forget who it was, but it was a former player because I don't like going that route.
Was it Baldy?
I don't remember. I don't think it was Baldy. It might have been an ESPN guy. But they basically talked about fooling Patrick Mahomes. And I was like, I don't know if I'll go that far because Patrick Mahomes is pretty smart.
Yeah.
But on the blitz, he kind of approached the line of scrimmage, tailed off on the first cadence by Patrick Mahomes, and then started to drift over to Travis Kelce when Travis Kelce went into motion. So the analyst was saying that told Patrick Mahomes that Mukuba was then going to be on Travis Kelce. If I'm Patrick Mahomes and I see a rookie safety coming over Travis Kelce, I'm like, all right, it's dinner time. I'm not taking my eyes off that. So once Mukuba shows blitz, I'm going right to Travis Kelce. That's
undersized safety too, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Undersized safety. Absolutely more to the point. So Patrick Mahomes takes his eyes off Drew Mukuba, thinking that he's apparently on Travis Kelce. That's the part I don't buy. Either way, an opportunity knocked, and Mukuba took full advantage of it. Now, there was one play where he got trucked a little bit by Patrick Mahomes on a scramble, but, whatever. They all can't be gems. They all can't be perfect. And eventually he got the
lowered his
lap.
shoulder on him.
He did. He's been doing that a wee bit to start off the season. But bottom line is Mukuba came up and made plays in this game for a young safety, for another position that was supposed to be a safety, a battle, like the outside cornerback position, for instance. Mukuba has very much impressed me so far in his first 2 games at the NFL level, and he's telling you, Harry, again, to your point, you ain't seen nothing yet. Yeah,
and it's also good when Vic Fangio tries to tamp it down, like during the week. He's like everybody.
He's figuring it out.
Everybody's all Mukuba up, right? And he can feel it through the media, and he's going to just sort of tamp it down. Like, hey, he played well, but there's other things you can improve on, or whatever it was. I love that. When when he's doing that, like this guy, like because he's not gonna, give him glowing praise after 2 weeks, but he's thinking in his head, man, I got a guy here. If I can keep him on the field, he's legit. That's what I took out of it.
Yeah, and you can move him around. You can do a lot of versatile things with him, like the way you used him in the blitz. As kind of as a late guy coming, but he's so fast. He was on top of him so quick, and he kind of hides behind the line. You're not sure if he's even coming till there he is, and he gets in there and gets the first wrap. And I mean, obviously, still the big thing when it comes to Mukuba is that he just always seems to end up in the right spot. He's opportunistic, and he's got
good instincts.
Yeah, he's got something you can't measure at the combine or anywhere else. It's just you got to see him play, and I think that's where the Eagle scouts really did a great job. They saw him play a lot. They saw, in person, appearances of him just being around the ball, being on the play all the time, and that's what you want. That's a smart, intelligent football player, and it tells you that he's prepared. So he must be a preparer before the game, and it tells you that when he's in the game, he's not playing catch up mentally. Right. He's playing on instinct because he has a good idea of what's coming. Because if you're playing catch up mentally, you're cooked at that level.
But wasn't it great, Farzy? Because Jason and I and Louis talked about this on the postcast. Like the Eagles were so effective, like defensively in that game, and Andy Reid knew that he was very limited with what he could do due to personnel on offense. That he ends up doing crazy things, going for it on 4th down inside his own 40. I mean, that was like, I'm like, what are you doing, number one? And then he runs that play. The play that he ran, I think, was to Hunt, like a regular handoff or something. It had no chance of succeeding. And then the onside kick was stupid too. I thought it was. I first guessed it too. It wasn't a second guess because they didn't get. It's almost impossible with the new rules to execute an onside kick. Number one, because you got to tell everybody that you're doing it.
Yeah,
I mean it's like what are you
thinking?
Surprise. There was still, I think, 3 minutes or so left in the game.
Yeah, he could have got
He was just doing stupid stuff, and that's when you knew you had him. Like he was doing desperate things.
He was doing Eagle Andy Reid things early in his tenure. I can hear his press conference now. Time's yours.
Yeah,
I got to do a better job.
Yeah, well, I related it to that on the postcast. Remember, I said this was like Andy Reid with Donovan McNabb when they had moribund wide receivers. They had really no explosiveness except the quarterback and maybe a good running back, and everything was on Donovan's shoulders. That's what Mahomes was faced with in that game.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. But by the way, for the record, I think Andy Reid would have punted on 3rd down if he was still the Eagles head coach on that play. But I will say this: you definitely had the feeling that his back was against the wall in this game. He was coaching like his back was against the wall in this game, calling plays like his back was against the wall in this game. But the Eagles just knew how to capitalize. Each and every time he basically pushed his chips to the middle of the table, and the Eagles were just like, yeah, we'll take them. Literally, in the literal sense, with Drew Mukuba taking the ball, and then the stop they got on that 4th down, which was also great. But Jason, you touched on something I want to move into here, and it was just preparation when talking about a guy like Drew Mukuba, because it's one of the stories of the week, and I want to get into it here. Jaylen Carter not being in shape. So Vic Fangio, I think, unknowingly let a cat out of the bag he didn't realize would be a cat out of the bag. And I think the kids use the term dry snitch. Like, we all should have known this. Yeah, you're welcome. We all should have known this. Should we have expected Jaylen Carter to look like he was $1 million in his first game playing when he didn't play in the preseason, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't really have a full training camp, obviously, because he was dealing with the shoulder injury.
Yeah.
And then,
on
again,
the injured list from day one.
Yeah. So Vic Fangio gets asked the question about what you like to see from Jaylen Carter in his first game. He's like, well, I think we all agree, and I talked to him. He needs to get in better shape. He needs to be prepared for that, blah, blah, blah. And I think Vic Fangio, the way he said it, I got the sense that he expected the media to go, yeah, that makes sense because, obviously he didn't play. And it was like, oh, wait a minute, he's not in shape? Wait a minute.
We can't fathom a pro athlete not being in shape.
Well, it was Jordan
Unless he plays for the Sixers.
Oh, good point.
Okay?
Unless he plays across the street.
Exactly.
It was like what we would say about Jordan Davis, who now apparently is like a decathlete compared to what Jaylen Carter's in right now. So Vic Fangio got asked a follow-up question about it, and he was like, well, guys, he didn't play.
Mm-hmm.
And you could be on, even Nick Sirianni said yesterday during his press conference, sure, you could be on the Peloton, you could be on the mountain climber, you could run all you want, but until you play the games, you don't get into game
There's
shape.
Football shape,
totally
and then there's regular shape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Cardio
Fangio
shape.
said it, and I could hear, oh man, I could see the sharks with the blood in the water and everything, and just
Elliott
be like, oh boy,
Shore
here
Parks. Here we go.
Well, everybody, like even me, I perked up when he said that. I was like, whoa, what? And then I think it was Ruben Frank that asked the follow-up question later when he was like, yeah, back to that whole out of shape thing, Vic. What the hell? What? That's not what he said, but I'm paraphrasing. Yeah. And then Fangio very calmly was like, well, guys, he
doesn't look like you, Rube. Like he's not out of shape.
He hasn't played. And I'm like, okay, well, that makes sense. And then he still played 70% of the snaps in this game?
Yeah. And then he was holding his arm there for a little bit in that game.
Yeah, he's got a stinger, but he's fine. He's got a stinger, but he's fine, he says.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Like, out of shape, like we take that term like it's some schlub.
Yeah.
On The Biggest Loser. Trying to lift weights and throw a medicine ball down. No, it's just game shape. Like you can't prepare to be in that kind of shape unless you're doing it, and you're not. He can't like sign up for the local YMCA Pilates class and be ready to play against the Kansas City Chiefs. Like it doesn't work that way.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, real quick, Miss Guzzi. 80% of the snaps he played in this game. What, I have him at 70? I shortchanged.
Yeah, you shortchanged him.
Jordan Davis played 53% of the snaps in this, which is still up from the 37 he played last year on average. Yeah,
no, he looks good. And he knows he's got a payday coming if he can keep it up and go even beyond that. Yeah. Money's the ultimate motivator, as we know. And some guys, when they get money, it becomes a demotivating factor. And other guys go, well, I got the money. I got to prove that I earned it and I can keep it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a Jaylen Carter guy. I hated what happened week one. That was stupid, indefensible, somewhat at least. Yes, it does cushion the blow that Dak spit first and put the thought in his head at least. So he wasn't just going into the game like, I'm going to spit on Dak Prescott. I'm going to get away with it. Yeah. So it makes a little bit of a difference. But as far as talent, he's absolutely got it. When it comes to what's between the ears, that's obviously the worry. But Vic Fangio does seem to have a really good rapport with him, where he feels comfortable enough saying, like, yeah, we got to talk about him getting in shape, but I have those conversations with him. Yeah. Then it's not just something that is, that everybody else sees, but he doesn't.
And he apparently agrees with him. He agrees with him.
So the question in all of this that I had to ask myself after it was, okay, given what Vic Fangio said, is this a concern? Am I concerned about Jaylen Carter? And I thought, of the list of things I might be concerned about with Jaylen Carter, whether or not he needs a game or two to get in shape after no real training camp, obviously no preseason.
No, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, I'm not. To me, it's not a concern.
No. Yeah, they have a whole team of trainers, scientists, nutritionists. They have a plan to get him in shape. It benefits them. It's not like they're going to go, okay, you need to go home and do 60 sit-ups tonight, 50 push-ups, and you got to get in shape. They got a whole plan.
And this guy is no dog. He's got dog in him, but he's no dog.
No, he's not a mutt.
Right.
On that
he's
note,
a purebred, huh?
Exactly.
On that note, I want to say this, just to get back to Jordan Davis for a second. Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis, but mostly Jalen Carter on the Mukuba interception had pressure on Patrick Mahomes. There's another play later in the game, wide open receiver. I couldn't tell who it was down the middle of the field. Jordan Davis got his hands in the air and knocked down a pass. He absolutely has been playing really well this year. And unfortunately, due to other things, we've been talking more about Jalen Carter. But Jordan Davis in the first 2 games, gentlemen, has really impressed me, especially all of a sudden abruptly having to play. I think that was 77% of the snaps in week 1. Again, 37% of the snaps is what he averaged last year.
Yeah.
77 in week 1. That's a step up. And he played well. And he played well in this game. So great job, Jordan Davis, right out of the gate. Love what I'm seeing. I also want to make sure I'm giving some love to somebody else. Zadarius Smith, I'm sorry. You want to talk about a guy not being in game shape? The guy hadn't played since January 18th.
Yeah.
Gets a uniform, shoulder pads, goes right out there. He comes up with a tackle for loss, I believe it was, a sack, half a sack, and a quarterback hit. Yeah. In playing 30% of the snaps.
Made an impact.
This week it will be interesting. Some of that may have been on adrenaline. So you got to see this week if he's able to sustain. These guys keep themselves in shape, hoping to sign up for a deal. And I imagine there's a lot of adrenaline that goes into the equation for a guy like Zadarius Smith. You're out there and you're trying to find work, and all of a sudden, boom, you get signed to the Eagles, the Super Bowl favorite, and you get to play next to Jalen Carter.
Talk about a shot in the arm, man.
Yeah. I mean, you're like, what an opportunity. I mean, all you're looking for as an athlete is an opportunity, right? To earn and win. And he just got both. He went to
the front of the line.
Yeah, I mean, if his agent called him and said, "All right, we got 3 offers here."
Yeah, we got Cleveland. We got the Jets. The Jets are really interested, and the Bears.
Yeah. And by the way, the
Eagles retirement's pretty good.
The Eagles called too. Do you have an interest coming back?
Text from a 215.
Yeah. He's calling an Uber right away, and he's on his way if the Eagles call.
Oh, but speaking of that, did you see the thing where apparently the Eagles were interested in drafting Shedeur Sanders?
Yeah, to flip him for more.
Yeah. Cam Newton talked about it on his show this past week.
Cam Newton, I've had enough already.
The Ravens wanted to draft him, and the Eagles wanted to draft him, and then Cleveland. And he apparently has too much respect for both Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts, knowing that he would be coming in there just to be he would not be able to dethrone them. So he wanted to go to Cleveland because he would get playing time, something to that effect. But apparently the Eagles were interested, according to Cam.
So in other words, he's a coward. He doesn't want the ultimate challenge. He wants the easy path.
You could look at it that way.
No, I can.
That's one way.
And I am looking at it that way.
Yeah, you can look at it that way. Yeah.
Oh, the goalies are out there now. The goaler coach.
They're down doing butterflies. Here's Jason. I think that's very astute. I like it. The other thing is, I think Cam Newton made a friend. That's what I think happened.
Oh, okay. He was wearing a Reggie White throwback Kelly Green jersey while he was doing his show.
Take it off immediately before you jinx it. Take it off immediately, Cam Newton.
I can't wait till we talk about the Tush Push, by the way, because I saw this video of John Gruden.
Oh, yeah, he loves it, doesn't he?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So great. Yeah. So great. And by the way, a team that voted against it used it.
Yeah.
The Chargers?
Chargers, yeah. Can we play the Gruden stuff on the show, or is that a violation?
I don't think we can. That's,
because he's on another network.
Owned and operated by somebody else.
It was awesome. I love Gruden, and he's more unleashed and unhinged than ever.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
As if it was possible. Who knew?
And he was wearing a Reggie
He's
White
like the
jersey.
favorite to get the UCLA job among around.
Really? I hope
books.
not.
Yeah,
I hope he doesn't get it because I want him as a commentator.
Oh yeah, me too.
I do. Same. Yeah. All right, we'll get into that Tush Push when we come back. This is Locked On Eagles Squad show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. Back right after this. And right now, let me tell you about PrizePicks. You guys having a good time with PrizePicks? I certainly hope so, because it's easy to have a good time with PrizePicks. This episode, by the way, brought to you by PrizePicks, the daily fantasy app where you make the right call and you can actually get paid off for it. Get paid for your takes. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, making the right pick, you can cash in. With football back and well underway, PrizePicks is the simplest and fastest way to get in on the action. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections, and you could turn your takes into real prizes, all in less than 60 seconds. So maybe you like actually Jalen Hurts going more than 230 yards in this game, 231 yards in this game coming up against the Rams. PrizePicks, it could be one of your picks. Maybe you also like Saquon Barkley just doing his thing against the Rams, which, is only run for like 130, 150, 180 yards, whatever it might be. More than that, check it out on PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today and use promo code LOCKEDONNFL. That's promo code LOCKEDONNFL to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code LOCKEDONNFL for $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. PrizePicks. It's good to be right on PrizePicks. So, gentlemen, this whole tush push thing, Eagles used it 7 times, and it made Chris Jones's head explode. During this game to the point of immense frustration. It is under even more scrutiny than before because the Eagles are offsides on a lot of these. False starts. The defense is offsides. That also happens a lot. But this game in particular, there's no question. You go back and watch the replay, they're offsides. Or the Eagles are
twice, I think. Twice.
At least twice.
Yeah.
I remember last year, the Eagles were getting called for being offsides when they lined up, being past the nose of the football. That was the first theory into thinking, okay, the NFL is not going to ban it, but they're going to keep calling against it. They're going to watch it with the hawk eye, essentially, eagle eye, whatever you want to call it, to make sure that the Eagles can't run it to perfection. Well, the Eagles have been running it pretty damn well. Defenses still can't stop it. And defenses also aren't getting called for neutral zone infractions. And when Kevin Patullo was asked about it earlier in the week, hey, you guys are false starting. He's like, yeah, well, the defense is also offside. So what do you want from me? It was the best possible response he could have. I love the play. I defend it as the most. It's not only a football play, it is the most basic football play there is. I hope it stays forever. It's gone.
Yes.
I think it is as good as gone by the end of this year. I think the last whip up the votes that the opposed owners and coaches needed was seeing the Eagles run it for one more year. And 2 weeks into this season, I think it is in its final days in the NFL.
I agree with you. In fact, we talked about it on the postcast. I said Dean Blandino gave it away when he said, I'm done with the tush push, when they went to him to evaluate one of the plays, one of the replays. And when he said that, I'm like, that's not just his opinion. He's getting that from other people. Okay. Yeah. And they will get the votes to get it done. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised. I was surprised we didn't see it in this past game. If you're going to start seeing a player maybe feign an injury on the tush push on the defensive side and go off the field for a play.
Wow.
Yes. That's the tipping point for it. I agree with you, Farzy. It's gone next year, so enjoy it while it lasts.
Well, John Gruden in his video said, yeah, the tush push, they're trying to ban the tush push.
Oh, here we go.
The yard you need is the hardest yard to get.
I tell you what, man, with the tush push.
I'll tell you what. And he shows like 6 teams trying the tush push. Unsuccessful. If you want to ban it, you should be able to do the tush push. You got to get pad to pad, toe to toe, all this stuff. And then he shows the Eagles just converting it time and time again. Baltimore. He goes, what else do you want to ban? Saquon Barkley in the open field because he might score a touchdown. What about Lamar Jackson throwing the ball down? You want to ban that too? Because you might score. He went off, and it was awesome.
You said that the Chargers tried it, right? Did he show that? Because I didn't see them try. They did
it on their own goal line.
Were they unsuccessful?
No, they were successful.
Oh, they were successful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Here's my thing, because I'm so fixated on the rugby portion of it. So rugby is the what would you call it? Maybe even the dad or the granddad to football Americano.
Yeah. Scrum.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a resemblance. Okay.
Yeah.
There's going to be some resemblance if it's in the same bloodline, right? So what else are we banning here? No more toss plays. No, can't run the ball with a toss play. That's a rugby play. Punting. Don't even get me started. Punting. Can't do that. Can you not be rough anymore? Because rugby's also a pretty rough sport. So I know the NFL is trying to get less and less rough each and every year, pretty much in the vein of football, of safety and all that stuff. But I don't have a problem with anything in football resembling rugby, because that is the dad or the granddad of football Americano. Folks.
Well, wasn't Jordan
I don't have a
Mailata
problem.
asked about that this past?
Oh yeah,
He
but
played
like,
rugby.
yeah, I'm like, there's
Right.
no better representative of that than Jordan Mailata.
Right.
You're absolutely right, but he's also one of the people pushing that ass for this play. So I don't think many people would look at him as a credible source, maybe
A non-biased.
a non-biased.
Well, he's tired of running it because it beats him up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
you're talking about
did say
injuries.
that.
I'm
Yeah,
more
he did
concerned
say
about
that.
the Eagles' offensive line. And yes, when it comes to injuries, I'm more worried about the players running it getting hurt than I am the defenders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
the
so
hardest.
great. I love it.
I'll tell you what, man. The hardest yard to get's the yard you need. That's what he said. 4th and
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
God, he was so apoplectic that they want to ban it.
Yeah. It's 1st and 8, man.
Yeah.
You know, it just
and it's
is.
great. And if you get the 4th down and you're not within a yard of tush push range, you throw that Braden Man out. I'll tell you what, man, this Braden Man.
The punter. Yeah.
Holy
We
cow,
gave
what a
him props
cannon.
on the postcast. Yeah.
We gave 2 kickers. We gave Jake Elliott
Jake
deservedly
Elliott with the
so.
58-yarder that could have been good from almost 70.
Yeah, 2 of them so far this season and a 51 for 52-yarder. And
Right.
Braden Mann, who doesn't do boo in the first half of games for the most part, comes in and just booms. Like he had that one punt that was I think the Chiefs got it at the 9. And it was you just watch the punt returner just keep backing up. I'm like, gee, if he backs up anymore, he's going to be in the locker room. It was incredible. Good hang time too. I love a good hang time.
Oh, I love a good hang time.
Yeah, their special teams has been on point.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They
So
really
far
have.
this season.
Again,
I mean, I was 2 58-yard field goals is pretty good.
So
And
if
that goes to Howie too. Again, once again, every detail.
right,
He's
if
so
you can
dialed in.
win, if you can win, you know, with a good defense, a good running game, and good special teams, a lot of times, you know, that's your ticket to 9 or 10 wins right there.
Oh yeah.
You know.
So you got an automatic play that's a 1st down.
Mm-hmm.
You got good special teams. You got defense playing their arses off.
Mm-hmm.
And you just got
both weeks came up with huge plays and huge turnovers.
Yeah.
And you got, unfortunately, 2 touchdowns in your last 6 quarters. All right, let's see what we need to work on.
Right.
Are you reevaluating your 10 wins, Harry?
No, I said 11.
11?
I said they'd get 11. The over and under was 11 and a half.
Are you reevaluating that at all? 2-0
No,
out of the
no.
gate here?
No.
Okay. Just making sure.
Okay.
I'll be checking in with you on that next week.
Yeah.
Group
All
B
right.
hitting the ice now. There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Jeez.
All right.
Yeah.
When we
Yeah.
come back,
How many
we're
wins
gonna
for
get-
that squad?
Don't worry about it.
You got 10? You got 10 here?
Under.
No, I don't think you're ridiculous, Harry.
All right. When we come back, let's get into our can we call them way too early predictions for Eagles Rams this weekend? We'll talk about that when we
We're
return.
Thursday. We're Thursday.
It's Thursday. It's Thursday. All right, after this, and then it's Locked On Eagles show, Locked On Eagles show on the Locked On Eagles YouTube channel. Back right after this. And right now, let me tell you about Mazda. We like to talk about things that move. Well, Mazda crafts cars for those who do more than simply move. Mazda delivers confidence with every ride, with more IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus awards than anyone else. How about that? From footwork to breath work. Oh, it's fantastic. Athletes sweat all the details. It's absolutely incredible. Mazda brings this same invention, intention, and absolute ingenuity to how they craft every model. With all-wheel drive standard in every crossover SUV, you could drive with confidence through almost any season. Like players, we sweat every detail at Mazda. Plus, we make every moment and every move count. Impossible becomes irrelevant. Mazda, move and be moved. Mazda. Just like that, move and be moved.
Yep.
Tyre. What can I tell you? What can
When
I tell
I
you?
move, you
Yeah,
move.
to get in.
Waving to Johnny LeClaire in the hallway here.
Tell him he's my favorite.
He could play
Tell him I said
linebacker
hi.
for the Eagles.
Seriously, that's my favorite. That was my guy growing up.
Yeah,
John
yeah?
LeClaire, that was my guy.
good dude.
I got back problems just because John LeClaire was my favorite ice hockey player growing up.
With people cross-checking you in the lower back.
Oh
and
yeah,
that.
I wouldn't move. John LeClaire wouldn't move.
Yeah.
All right, that's a glimpse into 11-year-old Mark right there.
Yeah.
I don't think the Rams are a great football team by any means, but you talk about Harry getting the Chiefs at the right time. And yeah, maybe the Chiefs even got the Eagles at the right time to even have a close game. But this could be a moment where the Rams are really getting the Eagles at the perfect time, where Adoree Jackson is still a giant gaping hole in the secondary.
Although Vic Fangio said he played better.
Okay. If I take 2 piles of crap, all right, and I put them in your house for a week, and then I remove one, it's going to smell a little less. But you still got a pile of crap in your house, Harry. Okay?
Wow. What an analogy that was.
Right? It's still stanky. Wow. Okay?
Jeez.
Let's go to the phones. Oh,
no, when he said he played better, I was like, the bar wasn't high.
Yeah.
All right, Vic?
Yeah.
The bar wasn't high.
Yeah.
I tell you all this to tell you that. The bar wasn't high. All right. So you're also going from George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb to Manny Moe and Jack. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Marquise Brown had a lot of Quinyon Mitchell on him. They had the one deep touchdown to Thornton that was actually not even credited, not even deducted or charged to. It wasn't charged to Quinyon Mitchell because he was supposed to have over-the-top safety help, and they ended up blowing that coverage.
Right.
So the Eagles have still a big hole in their secondary that Matthew Stafford will just be licking his chops at.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to have to be a game that I think Jalen Carter controls the line of scrimmage. Jordan Davis continues to play well. Yep. Nolan Smith gets after it. Like, the pressure is going to have to be there to have success. Yep. And maybe even Fangio dials up a couple of more blitzes just for funsies in this game. But I'll go back to what we started the show talking about, and that was about finding a way to win a game, doing whatever it takes to win. This could very well be the game, and I see it being the game where the Eagles need to throw the football to win the game. This is going to be a game that Jalen Hurts has to show that the passing game is not out of sync. Here's the good news. After that Panthers game where he talked about being out of sync, the last time we heard him talk about the passing game being out of sync, he put up 290 yards against Pittsburgh Steelers and all was right with the world. Mm-hmm. I need that kind of game from Jalen Hurts to really expect the Eagles to win this game over the Rams. That's what I'm seeing going into this one.
Yeah, because I think, Sean McVay is licking his chops too by saying, like, wow, I can scheme and motion and do all these kinds of things and get Devontae Adams one time on that weak cornerback that they have. I forget his number. Was he number 8? I think he's number 8. And then I'm going to get Puka Nacua coming from the other side, and I'll get him on number 8. And they could have a field day just doing that. You also have a quarterback who's he been in the league? 15 years, 14, 15 years. He's seen a few blitzes.
Wow.
So I think this is going to be a really close game. I think it's going to be an over. I think there's going to be points scored. The Eagles will score enough points, 26-23 Eagles.
Ooh, 26-23. I love that.
Yeah.
Close game.
Because the weather's going to be great. This isn't going to be like the Rams coming in here in January like they did last year. This is going to be good weather, 78.5 to 80 degrees. It's going to feel like Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Jason, what do you got?
Is the traffic going to be like Los Angeles too, Harry?
In and around the sports complex, yes.
A little smog.
It'll be like the 405.
Okay.
All right.
Sure. Look, you say while the Rams are getting the Eagles at the right time, well, they still have to travel across the country. I think the Eagles
for an early game.
Yeah, for an early game.
It's like a 10 o'clock start.
Yeah,
twice, by the way, back-to-back weeks. They were in Tennessee last week.
Look, I think the Eagles win this game. I think they end up winning it like 32-21, something like that. I think they cover the 4.5. Yeah, it is kind of a weird number. I think you go for 2, a tush push 2 or something. But yeah, I think they cover the number. I think they move to 3-0, and I really don't think it's that much of a sweat fest because I think it's going to be one of those ones where they come out in the second half and they really just dominate the game, dominate the possession. Saquon has a couple of those big runs as they wear down an opponent, and they'll do that by first half throwing the ball, and that's where it'll open things up for Saquon in the second half.
Yeah, the Rams did not stay in the Eastern time zone between the two games. Some teams do that. Remember, the Niners have done that.
Eagles did
it. Yeah, the Eagles stayed in Seattle, but the Rams went back home after the Tennessee game.
Yeah, the Eagles had the Rams and Seattle, and they stayed out on the West Coast and practiced out there.
That's what I'd do. It's smart.
Yeah. Especially this time of year, it's lovely out here. It's lovely. Okay.
Yeah, why fly back and forth twice when you don't have to?
Yeah. Exactly. I will give you a final score so I don't dodge that. I have the Eagles winning this game, and I see it being a 31-28, or should be 34-28 win over the Rams. They're going to have to throw. I think Saquon still breaks off a big one, but we're all taking the over on
all
this
taking
one,
the
which
over.
of course means 13-10 Eagles. All right, make sure you guys catch these. Make sure everyone catches these guys right here after the Eagles game for your Locked On Eagles Squad Show postcast as well. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to all things Locked On Sports, especially Locked On Eagles Show, featuring our good friend Locked On Louis DiBiase, taking you through all the daily podcast and all the daily content right here on Locked On Eagles. For Harry Mays, for Jason Martinez, I'm Mark Farzetta. We hope you guys have a great rest of your day. We also hope you guys are able to enjoy kickoff on Sunday at 1 o'clock between the Rams and the Eagles. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. See you guys later. Bye.